Let's see.
Okay,
There you
we're live
go.
now.
I think you are.
All right.
There it is.
Here we go.
There you go.
See if anybody's still awake. Sorry. So, anyways, not for anybody that watched the podcast then on Dr. Nevins. Just wondering any feedback. There was a couple. There was another. Hey, Dewey, thanks, man, for watching.
Time.
We ended up having to get we had to go get my get a trailer for the bike, so we actually just finished loading it. I watched it I listened to it in the truck, going to the place, and then coming back to or listening to it. So, how'd you find it? Right, kind of, once you take all that information in or whatever, you kind of reflect back at everything. Oops, Mandy, I'll call you back, okay? Sorry. 38%, yeah. Hey, Roy.
It's a long interview.
You know what, Roy? I think you'll find that the whole thing interesting as well. Having listened to everything that say the drug was associated with, or some of the problems it caused and why they kept sticking it out there longer, right? And even like Dewey, right, for the guys for everybody that deployed in 2002, you guys took mefloquine the same as we took it in Somalia, and you guys were forced to keep taking it, right? Yeah, right. Lots of info, man. That's why it was, there wasn't really any way to cut it shorter, right? For some of the information, and
Some of the hardest decisions were to really sit back and allow it to develop and realize that the more we saw it, we realized that it didn't need to be touched, in that everything that these guys talked about, kind of everything I've ever heard, read, etc. Dr. Nevin, Mike, they both kind of have I don't even know how to put it. It was just, I was captivated, and I've seen it probably 6 times.
Well, he's probably got like 25 hours or something into it.
I have. It's still, every time you watch it, there's still something more that kind of comes to light. So even from that standpoint, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I know glasses. Right?
I wasn't reading off some of the comments, but Dewey just said, yeah, it was long, but lots of info and interesting. Covered a lot. Roy Mack first said, my phone died. LOL, I'm only back to 38%.
Yeah.
LOL. Then Roy said, knowing that some of us were predisposed to suffer worse than others, yet 9 of us were warned, right? None of us were warned.
Yeah.
None. Yeah. Then I read your...
And that's, I guess, what I was trying to getting to, was that to make it part 1 and 2 seemed to not do it justice. It's the story in its entirety, the way it happened, the way these guys told it. So really all it is just kind of, putting it together.
Hey, Boots, did you say taking it for 2 consecutive deployments?
Wow.
But you were taking the pill every day of mefloquine? Hey, Catherine. Catherine just said, good evening from Georgia, sending love to you all. And just to go back, Boots said, wish about taking it for 2 consecutive deployments every day. So might have to talk about that one. And very informative. Yeah, and there's a few other things, a few other stories to cover, but so the story about Pagani, hopefully I said that right, but his was from somewhere around 2003, I think Dr. Nevin was saying, and there was another one, all the ones that were done in Fort Bragg in, I think, 2003 or 2005. I think 2003, same year, right, where 4 wives were murdered, and then 2 of the soldiers took their lives as well, and then a third one took his life while in custody, right? So, and 3 of the 4 I know took mefloquine, right? Oh yeah, sorry, Wacky Wednesday. Boots was saying. Roy said, between Mike getting it in Somalia and the calf knew the damage then, did nothing to warn us as late as 2002. And
Yeah.
that's like, so really it was probably 10 years then since Somalia, right? They would have known because you look at what happened to Stephen Beardwood. His episode will air later. Dave's going to handle all that from here on in. And we're looking to do each episode like a premiere, and because really it's premiering that person and that episode and that struggle, or that could be success or whatever. But
I mean, the truth is, Mike's been at this. We've been doing this for some months now, and it was a joint production decision that we lead off with Dr. Nevins, because it really is Mike's words. It's the cornerstone. It lays the foundation for everybody's story. It's validated. He's done all the clinical work. It's all published. Everyone now who wants to or has told the story subsequently is validated before we even publish theirs. But each story is individual, and each story is unique, and each story is important. So again, from the last live episode that Mike and I did here, or stream, we're going to put in Mike's page the new contact number so that Mike can ensure you get his messages if you want to tell your story, if you want to help the tour. We're going to kind of reorg. We're going to set things up so that the communication lines are a little more fluid, because Mike's about to go on the road. Things are going to get a bit crazy with the tour, but hopefully with the different groups he has set up and the communication base, all of your help, because without this, or you guys, none of this would be possible. I mean, everything Mike has done, without all your support so far.
Yeah.
So, we'll put those links out, and you're going to see some stuff published soon from on his page. He'll put it out there, some posters and stuff, just so you can get in contact.
But hey, thanks, Boots, man. You're still awake in Newfoundland.
Wow.
Oh, fuck. I love you, man. And your coffee will be on the way tomorrow.
Yes.
I said today, but I mean tomorrow, right? Because
Newfoundland's ahead of the rest of us.
yes, quite a ways. And also to say, so we hit a snag this morning, and U-Haul didn't have a trailer for us.
Little snag.
And there wasn't a trailer in BC for us. And there wasn't a trailer. We could get one in Coeur d'Alene or whatever. like no pressure trying to go across the border, right? Because that doesn't cause me any anxiety. So, but anyways, with the fastball, Dave went and bought a trailer. We just went to ICBC, got a thing. So then go
An
back
insurance
to Alberta,
and a registration.
Go back Alberta, get a thing, and put my get a plate on it.
Re-register it in Alberta. So the Rude Awakening Tour has a new bike trailer so that Mike travels safely across the country with the bike. Use that for advertising. It's a Rude Awakening trailer, right? It's all a partnership. Everybody's joined together. Everybody has pitched in. Everybody who contributes. It's all thanks to everybody. This is not just a single person effort. This is everybody. It's not Mike. It's not me. Mostly Mike and Spark. But the rest of you, everyone, like, seriously, none of this would happen without every one of you out there who are watching or will watch this, because I'm sure this is going to get a little traction, over the next little while.
And I think it's good, just to get that information out there.
Yeah.
And we both kind of felt Dr. Nevins was the most important to get out there. He's been on other things and done other programs and stuff, but for myself, say answering some of the questions, hearing it, he was very important. But there's every single person that we've interviewed so far are important people. Every single person is a piece of the puzzle of what's happened with Mefloquine. And after watching Dr. Nevins, for anybody that didn't realize Clayton Matchey was that was suffering side effects before he left, right? And then they right, they continue to make him have it, even though to continue to take the drug, even though it was causing him damage, right? So when you're already as Dr. Nevins stated, when you're already having the prodromal effects, that if you continue to take it, that's where the damage is done. And, that's what was happening to all the people that went over to Somalia and the people that went over in 2002 to Afghanistan, right? And into 2003, I think that's before they had doxycycline available. But you know what? In the whole time of Mefloquine, doxycycline was out there, was available. So then the Canadian military could have took it going to Somalia instead. But we took a different drug. And that drug they continue to keep giving. So what can you draw from that, right? What does it kind of say in the end? But so I'm going to read off Roy Mack's comment here. I told the redeployment doc about the incidents I had, and he wrote in my med docs, soldier appears to be experiencing adverse effects of Lariam, but he never told me personally. And as Dr. Nevins said, some people seem to be very, they tracked it very well, I think. And so, some medics or some nurses or doctors probably did a really good job of keeping track and helping some. And then others, like when you're ordered to take it no matter what. So what does it matter then if you're having side effects, right? If that's what they're telling you. So, were they interested back then in helping? So, River Valley Resilience Retreat, thank you very much for coming on. You both are awesome. Thank you. And so are you guys. Roy Mack, I only found out after I got out and sent for my personnel file. MedDocs 3 years later, sorry.
Roy, you're one of the primary folks that we've heard from. We need to DM and connect. Mike doesn't have to sit in person with you, but he can. He can do it remotely. If you're local to, the Lower Mainland, of course, the studio's available. But, Mike has wheels, will travel. And now he's got the podcast gear complete. So, what you saw with Dr. Nevin, he can bring that when he travels. So, get the word out. You guys are important. And these stories here, I mean, if you want yours to be heard.
Yep. What else? Say another thing, I didn't bring up in the episode, but, is really the case of Lionel Desmond, right? And, having known all the stuff that I've learned from Dr. Nevin, and having talked to the family some, right? I really, right? Lionel Desmond was somebody that suffered from Mefloquine. Mefloquine is what caused that. And that's why in the inquiry they didn't want to talk about it. And that's why they didn't want to talk about it in the Somalia inquiry. That's why everything was shut down, because Mefloquine has a lot of dark history, and they don't want that. They don't want that stuff going out, right? That's my personal opinion. But I mean, if you examine the evidence like Dr. Nevin has, what other conclusion are you going to come up with, right? What else makes sense? So, Mark Coles.
I think for me, being kind of,
Well done, buddy. Thanks, Mark.
Yes.
We just lost that comment, or did we? Oh, yeah, okay. That's just there. Hey, Boots, take it or don't go, and troops suffer in silence. Never say a word, ridiculed, belittled, and signs of weakness.
Yeah.
Be a man and a man up, soldier on. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Wow.
And for people that had the hallucinations, right? So say once again, so people that took it in 2002, 10 years after people that went to Somalia, right? So we know people were hallucinating in Somalia, and they allowed to keep the drug out there for 10 more years, and then forced another group of soldiers to take it, right? No choice. And then to continue that, right? And, just, so Dr. Nevin never finished his prescription, right? And like from a case study, Sherry had done, I think, the efficacy or the total amount of people that finished the prescription was like 48% for mefloquine.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So even to say, right, if half the people stop taking the drug, more than half, right? So 52% stop taking the drug. How many people of that 52% do you think had problems then?
Oh.
So if and then were they large problems, small problems, right? The prodromal, if they had any of that, then would it be, you could almost say, not lost my train.
Well, this is what amazed me because I've seen the episode, and it's as you've seen it several times. And Dr. Nevin said, yes, the more a person took it, the more consecutively deployed, absolutely those effects are going to manifest more quickly. But he did also acknowledge that even if you have 7 pills, like a civilian lady that we have interviewed, Ms. Bodel
you're
Holt,
right.
she's coming up later on with Stephen Beardwood's interview. Even that small exposure has caused her significant issues. So each human being is individual and unique.
Yeah.
And this is why instead of being like the government who would deny, instead of having the stories told and then bring Dr. Nevin on to go, haha, I told you, this is why Dr. Nevin comes first. Because now you can come forward and know that the white papers, the filed stuff, that everything is legitimized that he said. It's all factual in terms of you can research the stuff.
Yeah.
It's all out there. Like it's your stories to tell now. It's wide open. It's up to the rest of you. Mike's done the work that he's done. He's going to continue to do it. Marge Matchy, Dave Bona, Stephen Beardwood. There's a huge Dr. Nevin, huge list that I'm learning in short order, and I know there's more people out there that will either choose to be or not be on the list, but know that the story's getting told and some sort of validation, vindication, as Dr. Nevin said, it has to happen. It's just it's time.
Yeah. And so what was because I was going to jump in for something. Or no, I lost my. So, anyways, I'll go back. Roy said our paths will cross, but my plate is kind of full right now. No worries, brother. And I absolutely agree with you. The worst side effect is suicidal ideation, right? That's right. That's what I woke up to this morning. Say or.
When U-Haul decided to pull the rug
Yeah.
from under us type thing. So make sure if that happens in anybody, reach out to anyone.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I agree, Katrina. It only takes one pill, right? Because
Yes. He
and
said
then
that, absolutely.
and that's where he also said though the subsequent, if you had problems with that one pill, and then you took another one, and another one after having problems, that it's supposed to be that much worse, I think.
Yeah.
And all of it, right? One pill,
Yeah.
and that's how some people, I would say some people are from like 1 to 6. I bet, right?
Oh,
Stopping a month and a half in, or even after their first pill. One guy stopped taking it in Somalia. I think, from waking up to the same dream every
Wow,
time,
yeah.
and then was like, enough of that, right? Side. And Mandy, thank you. So proud of you guys. Much appreciated. Sorry, we've kind of been busy the last couple of days,
It's been
and I haven't even talked to you today. But we've been running around trying to get about the trailer too.
and that's support in itself right there, and that's appreciated, Mandy. Thank you.
And to step back or to go back to a comment, just to say also, so the Mefloquin rally this year is in Victoria.
Yep,
We're going to be there to support Marge.
100%.
Marge Matchy will be out there. Her and her people or whatever, whoever's. We're going to help with setting things up. Dave is, more importantly, Dave.
Sound. This year,
Sound.
the Rude Awakening Tour is going to take care of the live sound. And don't quote, but as I understand, Dr. Remington Nevin is going to be a guest speaker, and somebody else we might know is going to be a guest
Mike.
speaker.
But we'll see.
I'll be setting up the mics and the speakers so that whoever speaks can be heard. And that's our in from the Rude Awakening Tour this year. And of course, Spark will be there for free pets and licks.
Yeah. And I think possibly we may have some music or something, possibly.
I have no
We're
idea
hoping.
who knows. It's not my gig kind of thing. I do sound, so anything sound related, yeah, I'll be heading that up. But right now, it's for me, it's in the very early stages where I've volunteered my support and basically just waiting for direction, because that's something that, again, we're just kind of jumping into and helping however we can. It's been tremendous, like I said, over this short time, the amount of support that we've had from the veteran community, civilians alike. But it's just that kind of work the problem, evolution, shifting gears. The rally's close this year, so it just seemed logical that, this is what we do. This is what we're going to do. So we're just a humble little part of that, and proud to be able to support the Mefloquin rally.
Okay, so we'll go back to another. Roy said we were supposed to keep taking it for like 6 weeks. After we got back, I quit, but I kept the old Larium box. The box says 1% of the people who take it can go clinically insane. Now, is that a chance you would want to take? 1%? To be clinically insane, who would want to take it, right? 1% chance to be insane. Not that, I was part of that 1%, which, maybe partially there. Maybe I'm point, whatever percent of it. But, so then Don said, let me know if you need anything while in Victoria. I got a lot of sound gear and I'm on the island. Nice. Thanks, Don.
Appreciate all the offers, yeah.
You can always touch base, or we can reach out if we
Again,
need it. Then
we're going to post the email that you're going to be able to contact Mike with through me in the next little bit here. We're working on a bunch of stuff too. I mean, there's some hurdles and obstacles. There is a Rude Awakening Tour website for real, the whole thing coming soon, but it's one of those things that you've got about, a whole bunch of stuff to put together, and then there it is. So right now we got a whole bunch of stuff, but a couple little more things to go, and then, so, today the podcast, trailer, we're working the problems. We just appreciate the support, bear with us, and eventually, we'll have it all out there.
Yeah. Yep. And Dave Chop Suey said, Dave, you're amazing. I agree. Because now I have a trailer to put my bike on to be able to drive. Otherwise, I was going to drive my bike to Red Deer, and he was going to drive the truck, then fly back to Vancouver. Because that was the only place to rent a U-Haul trailer for my bike.
Yeah. But by the time we finish paying U-Haul, who screwed us around, we might as well put it towards the trailer.
You guys are crushing it. Thank you.
The tour kind of, made all this happen, right? And that's Mike's hard effort. So that's how it works out, guys. It's not one person. It's not me. It's everybody.
Yeah, but it's all the people out there because, if I didn't have a place to go stay in like Sudbury, all the places I stay.
Newfoundland, North Carolina, Victoria, Yukon, Edmonton, Saskatchewan.
All the people that take me in and feed a stranger. And, of course, more importantly, they probably really just want to see Spark. But I mean, it's really because it's meeting everybody and seeing everybody, and man, when I see somebody I haven't seen for a long time, it's like, you know, it's over the top and makes me happy anyways, and fills me up, and then I'm good for another bit of a drive. Roy said, if a veteran doesn't call what they're experiencing PTSD, VAC will not help them. But in your head, you know the symptoms you have are not that. Yeah.
And
right?
again, Dr. Remington Nevin totally touched
Right.
on all that. That's the thing, is it's in stone now, guys. You can always go back and rewatch it and validate all your own points. That's the thing about that interview that, you and he
Yeah.
did so well is it's
So,
all there.
I mean, you could say the where'd I go now?
What Roy was saying here. Right?
Oh yeah, so on the whole symptoms, but saying PTSD and saying that PTSD. So then I said, so that was done a decade before mefloquine,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it was done just in time, right? To bring out a, they couldn't decide on anything, right? They had their shell shock, they had their, whatever, all the different ones for it, and then came up with PTSD as you unveil mefloquine. And if you look at the blue chart, then wouldn't that make sense if 19 of the symptoms make up the PTSD column, and then 18 of the traumatic brain injury, and they come together and actually form all the symptoms that you get from mefloquine. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Catherine Lee said, mefloquine, I say, is the reason why my husband has CRPS. I'm not sure. I'll Google that now and see what. I'm not sure what the. But like even Dr. Nevin was talking about when he was deployed, there was a person there with MS. Apparently, was taking medication for that, I think,
Yes.
or that had MS,
Yes.
and another person, and then the severe, PTSD and stuff like, yeah, not making much sense. Let's see.
It's an overwhelming day. It's like an information overload. That's the thing with this.
So just for everybody else there, CRPS is a complex regional pain syndrome, is a severely disabling condition that usually affects the limbs after injury or surgery. The main symptoms are severe pain, swelling, loss of range of motion, temperature changes, and changes in the skin. So that might be a question then we can try to bring up with. I'll ask Dr. Nevin, and then maybe we can post it or say that just to say about the disorder. Can it come from mefloquine? You know what I mean? So
Right, yep.
if that is okay. Mark says it frustrates me to no end what our military has done to our good men and women of Canada. You guys are awesome for doing this tour. Education of the public, truth will prevail. And like, to say truth will prevail. So prior to this, like Dr. Nevin was saying, they had other people kind of saying a countered narrative, saying, no, we've given it to millions of people all over the world. We give it to our troops. It's safe. Why would, But then it wasn't, right? And then all these symptoms that they continue to have, and then they would keep giving the drug, right? Canada only stopped giving it in 2017, right? Or something like that. And I think one of my friends was almost prescribed it in 2018 to go on a trip.
But Larium's still out there, right?
Yes.
And it's still prescribed to civilians today.
I believe, not the same, under the same brand, I don't think, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Not the
But
same.
yeah, before I left Newfoundland to start the tour,
Right.
I had asked the pharmacy at in Corner Brook and asked them, "Do you guys carry mefloquine?" And they're like, "No, but we can get it for you if you want." And it's like, no, right? Sorry, I was already part of a drug trial. I'll pass on that one.
That's the other thing too that's been alluded about is that the drug trial was never reported, but it was supposed to happen. I mean, there's documents that say the Canadian government had to make
Yeah.
a legitimate, whatever all the terms are,
didn't, so
drug trial, and they didn't.
Obtained
But
it
they administered
illegally
it.
then, right?
So if they did a trial, where's the documents?
Yeah.
And where's the documents? Then that validates, and so it's this vicious circle that really, right now, I think is chasing the government's tail.
Yeah.
And people
Maybe
wanna
that's
know.
why they're still stalling in court, or they're still waiting, right? We got the they were supposed to come up with a way forward for the mefloquine lawsuit here at the end of March. Now, I'm not sure when I get back to Toronto area, when I go to Baden Canine, I'm going to try to make an appointment to go see Paul Miller and see where we are with this. But, you know, so, hey, Matt, love you, brother. Katrina Jenkins said, can you still get it now? Or you can still get it now. Yep, right. And then, right, it's a black box label, right? But if you...
Yeah.
If you have a counterindication or whatever from another drug, or you can't take another one, and you can take mefloquine, but why would you, right? I mean, I wonder, a lot of people took it and for a long time, and I'm sure there's different things, right? Mike Gerard said, "Hey, love your tour and questions about veterans. Canada, are they trying to keep us all on weed to forget?" Oh yeah. I like my weed from Pure Life Cannabis. It's
Shameless plug.
it's a shameless plug, but this is like a 15 pack. But I wouldn't doubt it, right? To keep us mellow or to keep us, from losing our shit. But they're the ones that gave it to us. They're the ones that trained us.
You can make the
Whatever,
argument
right.
that if the current government's willing to legalize marijuana to do what you're saying, of course a previous government is going to do an unsanctioned drug trial with, our elite special forces at the time and a bunch of other troops that Dr. Nevin also spoke of with, as he said, I can't quote him because, such a well-spoken gentleman, but with certainty. It's proven. There are white papers. It's public knowledge, and he said those words. So,
Yeah. Okay. Roy said, "How many countries' armies have backpedaled on giving it to their troops?" Well, I think Dr. Nevin said Ireland, the UK, the US,
Bodil said that
Australia, right?
Yeah. Where's it,
A lot of countries, and Germany. I think Germany's banned the drug outright.
Yep.
Right, and they're, once again, I'd be interested to know, did German troops, so German Fallschirmjägers replaced us in Somalia, were they taking mefloquine? That would be I would be interested to know that.
Yeah, that's.
And Catherine said, Mike Gerard, yep, my husband gets 180 grams a month. Wows, from Mike. And, yeah, but when it comes to, say, mefloquine poisoning and the symptoms or tequinism, right, antidepressants are supposed to be bad for you, right? So I'm not on any. I got off of all of them probably 4 years ago, and I'm strictly on cannabis. And to be honest, right? So your brain never stops, right? It's always going, and
22 hours at a time.
never kind of slow down. And then the first time I actually took oil, it was like it felt like a hot tub for the brain because my brain would never stop, right? It never stops, and it was like, oh my god, it was like finally able to just like relax
I've seen
not have to, be constantly, the mind racing or whatever, right? So, but having done ketamine, that helped a lot with some of the anxiety and stuff. And I think, and that's not something you have to take all the time. That's, maybe a booster or whatever. Not, that kind of booster. But love you too, Matt. Robert Hobbs said, "Don't give up the fight." No, I won't, Rob. Sorry, I missed your call. I'll pick up your crib board.
We were driving at the time.
And doing the trying to
Trailer.
answer
Come
on the
Mishka. Sorry, you're not a
podcast.
star,
That's
but
okay.
Spark is.
Roy Mack, since 2002, I never took another pill of any kind for pain. Nothing. Too paranoid. Oh, yeah. I'm more or less done with it all, right? Take the odd, but nothing I'm gonna ever take again for a long time, right? I'll take an antibiotic, and that's about it, I think. But Robert Hum, totally. It's 2000. Another pill of any kind. Oh yeah, Mike Gerard said, "Totally get it. I'm working through monkey brain too." Yeah, right. It's just like, and then it's like, man, can I stop the merry-go-round of thinking of the same thing, right? Like trying to break that train sometimes. That train of thought is really hard, right? Hey, Mike. Yep, no worries, Rob. Rob said no worries. Bill Rista said support from Abbotsford. Right on. Thanks, Bill. We're not far away, I guess. I think that's actually, is that where the Rolling Barrage ends?
Aldergrove.
Aldergrove.
Aldergrove, just
Yep.
minutes from here. The Rude Awakening Tour is going to have a bit of a live thing going on throughout the whole thing. But yeah, we'll be there in Aldergrove too when the barrage ends.
Yeah.
It's a long summer.
Yeah. Yep. Starting now, kind of. Catherine Lee, good for you, bro. I removed my husband from all his meds. Baby steps. Have a puff and we will get through it. Yeah, like, say just to say on the medication part and to say on the antidepressants and all that stuff, right? And suicidal ideation, right? So I attempted twice. I took pills twice, right? I took 19 2 milligram tablets of Ativan one time. And then another time, I popped all my pills out of my blister packs, and I was saving them up, and get another blister pack, empty that one, and I had a baggie of pills, and I even pulled it out once and showed a guy and said I can't take no more, right? Holding the baggie out, but right. So if that was my biggest threat to me, then getting off it was the better way and the safer bet for me. And not once did I ever feel a difference by taking it. So I never I'm so much happier. I'm so much whatever. The worst drug I ever was on was quetiapine or they call it Seroquel or whatever. Like that one was man. I couldn't stay awake and I couldn't wake up, and you wouldn't really sleep, and your leg would be flopping, like going, and then you wouldn't be able to fall asleep. Then it'd be like have to get up, walk around for 3 hours trying to forget about my leg being going nuts, and then try to go back to sleep again or whatever. Like it was crazy, right? Roy Mack said that's where I'm fucked. The psychologist calls it rumination. Rumination. Which one was that on the? To go back on the comment. Long-lasting Groundhog Day. Oh fuck! Wow. You know what? And Boots, the long-lasting Groundhog Day. That's the part, or that's why I drive, right? Because I can't have Groundhog Day, right? As soon as it becomes like Groundhog Day, then I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I got to get on the move. I can't stay, right? Because I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to live my life like like Groundhog Day, right? So instead, I get to go on the road and see beautiful people, incredible people that I serve with, incredible people that are out there helping others, all those kinds of people, and that's what makes it all worthwhile, right? But the comments are speeding up. We gotta. How do I?
I got it. For you.
Anyways, can you just okay right there? Grassy Knoll Studios.
Okay.
Just to contact Mike on the tour. Sergeant or sgt.mike.rude@gmail.com. Catherine Lee, bless your heart. Thank you, Catherine. Let's see. Katrina Jenkins, I hated that drug. I was on it too. I'm sorry I didn't realize that, Katrina. And yeah, like what a horrible drug, right?
Yeah.
Brenda Cormier, all the best to you. I have a medical person I have seen online for the last few months. I think if you wish, I can send his site. He speaks all about going off meds and how to do it. That would be nice.
Great.
Yeah, that would be a good idea for those trying to do it, because some of us weren't the smartest people, right? The way we went off it. I ended up quitting my Prestique because they didn't fill my prescription. Prestique and Trazodone, I think. They didn't fill my prescription. They didn't fill any of it. And when I went back, or I had to get another prescription, they didn't fill it when I went back to get them all filled. And then I was like, sorry, I'm leaving to BC. And then I'm done with you.
Wow.
And I eventually, now I'm not even on my the GERDS pill, right? The like Nexium.
Yeah.
Or esopramazole is what I was taking. Roy Mack, you keep cycling the same thing over and over. Yeah, right? It's just a broken record, man. It's like, and it's playing the same thing, skipping, and your mind don't stop. And and it's like sometimes you know you're in it, right? You know you're kind of like... you know you're tripping over the same thing and still like going on about the same thing in your head, right? So to those people that have to put up with that person that's then doing it to you, maybe saying it, right? Like because you're in that thing and you're in that constant loop kind of, right? So I can imagine there'd be some people that would be like, would have a hard time understanding where a person's coming from. Like, let it go already, right? But it's you can't let it go because you're on this track and it just keeps coming back to you.
And you
right?
taught me, and that's how I'm able to
Yeah.
stand back, and which is a lot of the times what it takes to help. If someone needs to reach out, you be there. But a lot of the time, Mike's got his
Okay.
coping mechanisms, and
Yep. Can you back it up a little
I
bit?
can, sure.
We got quite a few.
yeah. They come.
Um,
Just gotta find my mouse. Here we go. All right. So then
there we
there's
go.
Brenda.
Brenda. Okay. Let's see. A lot of meds, especially long term, is very damaging for many people. That's from Brenda Cormier. Agreed. Katrina Jenkins, I wasn't on Mefloquine, the other one you mentioned. Okay. Catherine Lee, anytime you need a place to crash in Nova Scotia, send a DM. Our door is always open. Thank you, Catherine Lee. And whereabouts in Nova Scotia, we'll have to figure that one out. But I should be out that way towards the end of May. DT Range Outdoors. Brett here. Why don't I have a doctor after medically releasing? So mad. And then you got released, and then you don't have you don't even have a doctor, right? Like that almost. You would think if you're coming out of the military, they would at least try to get you to have a doctor, right? At the very least, right? Because most people, I wouldn't say most people. Everybody that leaves the Army, I think, leaves with baggage, if you would, right? So. Brenda Cormier, okay, we'll send on this site. If you send it to sergeant.mike.rude@gmail.com for that list, I think. Oh yeah, quetiapine. Oh yeah. Sorry,
Wow.
I forgot about that. Katrina. My God, I was lucky and out by 83 and didn't have to take the shit, but ended up being a drunk with no shut-off valve. Yeah, yeah. Well, the army trained us well, right?
Yep.
Take away the shut-off valve. Yeah, quetiapine was like Seroquel, Don. Um, and it's man, once again, I that drug was horrible, man. Uh, uh, my God, exactly. Catherine Lee, Greenwood area. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Catherine. Uh, I haven't been back there for a bit now. My husband was artillery. Yep. Nice. Uh, Don Siren, 1,200 milligrams a day of quetiapine. That would be, I, you know, the restless leg, man, on that drug was like crazy, man. That drug, I think I could sleep 18 hours, barely be able to wake up, and then barely stay awake all day, and that was like every day. It was like a battle to be awake, a battle to be functioning. You know, maybe that explains why sometimes when I was kind of at my worst, maybe like just sitting there on the couch. That's all I'll do during the day: sit there and look out the window, right? Me and the dog across the street would would get up and look out the window at every car that went by, right? I'd look over. There's the dog. He'd look. There we are. Me and the dog watching the traffic go by. I don't remember how much of it I was on, but I didn't like it. From Katrina. Mike Gerard, holy fuck. Dave Sloat, oh yeah, just to say, sergeant.mike.root@gmail.com to reach out and tell your story or to contribute to the tour or send any like that list. DT Range or Outdoors, you got a place here outside of Kenora. Lake Trees Seclusion, stop by any time. I served with you in Afghanistan. I'm on cue and one off it. Man, if you're on it, I'd try to. That'd be the first thing I would do, right? Talk to my doctor and say, man, this drug is horrible, right? I don't, my experience was absolutely horrible, right? I didn't like it at all. When I think of all the drugs, right? Different drugs I was on. That was by far the absolute worst, and that was like taking the drug to go to sleep and only having like a 10-minute window to fall asleep, right? And if you don't fall asleep in that 10-minute window, you're going to have restless leg for 3 hours, right? So you got to time that one, or you're going to be like, you know, trying to do something to take your mind off the fact that your leg won't stop, like gyrating. Um, Don, no sleep without it. I don't know if you have cannabis, like I was saying, that's what shuts my mind off, kind of, and then allows me to just fall asleep, right? Or helps me fall asleep. The other things you can take, like, what is that, the melatonin or whatever, I've done that before. Even just say CBD, which is like anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory, non-psychoactive. CBD can sometimes, because I first was using that to fall asleep a bit, but in a conjunction, I think, might have been in conjunction with my sleeping pills. But yeah, it's pretty hard when you can't get any sleep. But so anything, because if you don't have it then and you're not sleeping, that's, I think, a lot worse. Or if you're not sleeping much, because say without a drug or whatever, I'm probably good for 3 or 4, and that's it, without taking anything. So, Roy Mack, every soldier leaving the forces should do so with a copy of their med docs, but the CAF quit doing that after 2005. Bastards. I managed to get a copy. I think when I left Gander from the reserves, they the lady there, the nurse there, man, she my stack was I don't know, my medical papers were about that long, man. She was probably at it for like weeks, printing off all my stuff, and then I prior to leaving to start the whole driving around, I had I think Sandy helped me. We photocopied all of it at his work or something. Photocopied it for like a few hours or whatever. So let's see. If you're ever Dawson Creek, Mike Gerard, if you're ever Dawson Creek, stop at Ricky's Pets. We will make sure dog food is topped up. That'd be outstanding, Dawson Creek. I haven't been back up that way for a little while now. Was there a few times, and then went up. Actually, I stopped and seen one of the guys I knew from the 3rd Battalion when I went through Dawson Creek. But yeah, would love that, Mike. Thanks a lot, eh? Mark Coles. Hey, and I'm only guessing, Mike, but would you be related to Greg, or do you know Greg? So, hi to him too. But yep, it's not a bad discussion too. It's kind of nice. Thanks a lot, everybody for joining us and talking and sharing. Right? I mean, because if you haven't noticed one thing, is that we only find out from each other, right? And most of the time, we only find out what works and what doesn't work for us. We often find, things. All the things that really make the difference is what we find out from our friends, right? Or people that we serve with. So, we have to look out for each other just like when we were in, right? And it's and it shouldn't matter. Doesn't matter what trade we were. It doesn't matter what clinic we're with now. None of that matters, right? The only thing that matters is that we look after each other and we help each other, no matter what, right? Because nobody quite understands us. Nobody quite gets us like us, right? Well, Robert, get well, brother. You go to bed, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll get those crib boards. Okay. Yeah, brother. Mike said he loves you. Loves him too. Mark Coles, look up doctor called Mona Harrison. Her info may help some world-renowned doctor. Thanks. You got a pen? Or do you want to take that down? Just write down Mona Harrison. Hey, Susan. Susan says hi. DT Ranger. Good seeing you, brother. DM me when you can because you'd be very interested in my med release story. By the way, ACT Atlantic Trauma Center in Nova Scotia was a big help. Love to hear about that, actually, too, right? Because like we were just saying, right? All that helps, and if we don't share it and say, man, you know what, this really worked for me, or this really helped for me, then people will go, right? Mark Long also, right? Mark Long started the Returning Warriors Ranch. That should be getting off the ground here any time now, and from what I understand and from what I've heard, it really does quite a bit, right? Really makes a difference. So. Roger, last out. So, yep, I thank you all for everybody for contributing for sharing your stories and everything, right? And like we said, every single story is important, and that's why I say, and I'll come interview you. I can either interview you at your place, or we can do it, through through the StreamYard app, through the internet, and do interviews that way as well. But if I'm in the area or I'm going along, and as long as you got the time, and
But here's the deal.
Sorry.
Here's the deal. You got to reach out to sergeant.mike.rude@gmail, because if it don't go through me, it don't happen. I'm going to make sure he gets the message. It won't fall through the cracks. I'll be the one that's out there kind of hanging. Think of me as radar. Okay, I'm an extension to whatever he needs. Reach out to me, and I will make sure. This way he can focus on the tour, and we can focus on his support. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant to say. No,
I'm sorry.
No, that's right, because I kind of book you in my mind, if you would, right? So I'll say, okay, a lot of my dates work off of my dental appointments is what I was doing, and then I try to book inside or outside of that, I'm trying to keep everything so that Dave is aware of everything on my schedule, kind of like how my sisters were, and tracking stuff for me and that. But they have jobs, or they have lives too, and to do
I
stuff,
have no
but
life.
He has no life, but see, he has no choice, because
We're on the tour. And that's just the way it is, just like you guys. We're all on the tour. So everyone's got a place. This is where mine is. So I'm FOB Grassy Knoll. You can reach out to me. Pretty soon, you guys will have the info clearly, and we'll make this transition so that literally sending that message is like talking to Mike, because we communicate on a regular basis. We have to. We've got so much going on right now. The tour is the tour. 5 years, and it's really, really starting to gain a lot of momentum. And that's, again, all because of you guys. This is why this is happening.
Yep. And the time is now. The time is now to tell the story. The time is now, right? The Mefloquin story is now, right? So let's bring it out, right? Because it's a lot bigger than we think. Would be my thoughts. Katrina said the Wounded Warriors programs are amazing too. A great thing to look into. Yep, agreed. Susan Slatterly said just finished watching the first episode. Powerful, moving, disturbing. You're all in my thoughts. Mike said, haha, awesome. Susan said, so proud of you, Sergeant. Susan Slatterly again. And thanks, Radar, because he finds out first, right? If you watch MASH. And DT Ranger said, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Yep, thanks. But it's, I get down, and it's always easy to change the story on yourself, right? Or to, to say, it's always easy to feed the negative, no matter how things are, or no matter where you are in your life, or where you are in the day, right? You can start off, winning $1 million in the morning, but in the afternoon you might not, that suicidal ideation might be there, right? It's things can swing that fast or whatever, right? But I'm not sure what I was trying to say on that one. Matt Walker, I'm proud to call you my brother. That's likewise, Matt. We got the Operation Pegasus Foundation, the jump, right, Matt? So that'll be Matt's first jump, maybe his second, maybe his third. I don't know. We're waiting to find out, right, Matt? Yeah. Yeah, Boots, man, I can't believe you're still up. Signing off, brother. Keep on keeping on.
Good troop.
Big love, man. Love you too, man. You fucking engineers rock, right? Engineers are engineers of the bomb, right? Sometimes quite literally, right? Putting them off, right? But man, for everybody, man, you guys rock, and everybody comes together as a team. So, right? Go back. DT Ranger, Slattery. Okay, sorry, Susan. I keep saying your last name wrong. DT Ranger said, "Take care of yourself like you're taking care of someone else." Quoted by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Yep. Because nobody looks after themselves. Even to say Dr. Nevin said he doesn't. You know, to say about effects of his own having taken mefloquine, right? And that we're not very very helpful to ourselves, right? So, Mike, fuck yeah, I tried to off myself one time, but it's the folks like you that keep me going. Well, thanks, Mike, man, because it's that's the same thing for me, right? And everybody that I talk to or everybody that I see, right? It means a lot to me to see them, and for people to call, right? I have my own issues, and sometimes I can have a hard time, but I'm still whatever I can do. I want to help, right? And all the people that reach out and help me over the years, right? Like have been incredible. People on the page, right? I mean, top fans and stuff, and anniversary top fans and all that. And my only problem is I've kind of picked up the pace, so I have less time to kind of almost. I don't have time to catch up to everybody, or get to all the messages sometimes. But you know, every single person means the world to me. So, thank you. Right, Matt Walker. Yes, 83 or so to go now. 83 more days until Operation Pegasus Foundation. So, for those that are wondering, and you're very welcome, Mike, man. Right? Look, look at what your brother does. Right? All the stuff that he's going out there helping people all the time, on the road, doing stuff. Right? And that's it. It's just one big machine of veterans out there that are trying to help each other and trying to keep people going, right? And trying to keep people from not going into that dark place, right? Or that when before you get there, somebody's grabbing your hand and trying to bring you away from there, right? So, you know, yeah, he's kicking ass, man, right? For all he's doing, right? The most incredible thing I've ever been to, the most incredible Quilts of Valor presentation I ever saw. The, you know, I've never been to Christmas in was it April, I think, maybe, or March? I'm trying to remember, but we went to Deer Lodge in Winnipeg, and they presented something like 58 quilts. Greg, Mike's brother, we went down there to present 50 some quilts to all these like World War II veterans, Korean veterans. And it was just like a big entourage of people. It'd be like, say, you being on the parade square, and everybody in the stands coming by and shaking your hand. Right? That's what was going on. They got their quilt, and then it was like 100 people came by, gave them hugs and shook their hands, and every single person at Deer Lodge, it was like Christmas. It was another incredible thing, right? Kind of like Ottawa in 2022 was, as well. A lot of love, right? Kicking ass. Susan said, "You mean the world to lots of us, too, Mike and Spark." Thank you, Susan. Just because I was going to your last name, that's why I started to smile. Or, for here I go, trying to say it. And Mike, wow, amazing. Yeah, too cool. I agree, right? and we have such a big country, and there's so many people out there doing so many things, right? And we all have to stick together. DT Ranger said, "You should know that when I was a trooper, you made me feel like a warrior. I went on to become an RSM of a battalion." Oh fuck. Uh, you know, uh, you know, thank you for saying that. You know, but uh, to be an RSM was on your own merit, right? And 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 all we have to do is always uplift the other people, right? Each other, and make us and train hard and work hard, and treat each other with respect, and then everybody comes out like a warrior, right? Like when I was a trooper, when I went to the airborne regiment, I told the story in I told the story in somebody's interview, I think, and maybe it was Dr. Nevins. I'm not sure, but no, I don't think I did. But when I first got to the airborne regiment, we went on a live fire exercise. Fired, the warrant came by, was like, we're standing there with our weapons waiting to be inspected, and the warrant's like, "Are your weapons clear?" And it's like, well, yes, warrant, but are you going to come inspect them? And he's like, or we're asking him, "Are you going to come over and inspect the weapons?" And he's like, "Well, are your weapons clear?" And it's, yes, warrant. Well, then fucking clear them, right? That's how we were treated. And when I was treated like that, and if you're going to be a soldier, wouldn't you be treated that way, right? If you're going to be a professional infantier, right? Wouldn't you be treated like that? And yeah, and you know, I'll also say too, though, but the people that I learned from are the reason that made me a better leader, and that was like Rui Amaral, John Elms, and Ernie Parolin, right? Guys like those that were their leadership was beyond the best. Roy Mack, I did a parade at Deer Lodge one time for Vimy vets. They were all over 100 years old and just wanted to talk to other soldiers. Nice, right? And you can imagine at that time too, and for the people they had left to talk to or whatever, to talk to people like them, right? So it's always really special, that is, right? So what time is it now?
10 p.m. PST.
So I got to get some sleep. So I was going to drive tonight. I also got to talk to Scott, but I think we've kind of missed that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna get up at 4 a.m. and take off. I was gonna leave tonight, like I said, but everything's and I got bolts for the bike, but today just kind of trying to get the trailer sorted and everything. That kind of threw us all over the place. Yep. But thanks to Dave, we have a trailer, and we have a place to take the bike, and
we have a plan.
We're on the road.
That's right.
Yeah.
4 a.m. Bacon and eggs. Mike will be on the road. You catch him live from then on. Everyone knows what it's like.
Yeah.
We're going to be following.
And just like on messaging, when I'm in your area, sometimes it's harder for me to check I don't go into Messenger or into like to answer on messages there. It's more on my phone. So my number's on the page, 709-638-4607. Call me. That'll stop me, or then I'll be able to rejig and say, "Oh yeah, I can come stop for a coffee. Why don't we do that?"
And if you see that he's going to be coming through in a few days, you can reach out and maybe we can set something up.
Yeah.
Even if you just need to chat.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to, be on the tour per se. If you just want to get together for a coffee, reach out. There's a bunch of us now. We're trying to create a network to help the tour. The link's in the beginning of this post now, as well as in the comments. We'll keep posting it out there. And again, from us on the support end of things, thank you all for supporting Mike and the tour.
Yeah, thank you very much. So with that, I'm gonna go to bed, get up at 4, and head home, and then I'll have to get my Alberta plates, and then go from there. So we'll try to do this more often. I'll probably go back. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, or if I'll go back and how the comments come back. But since it went through StreamYard, but we'll see. It's all kind of a bit of work in progress, but it's kind of been enjoyable because we have Facebook and we have YouTube on here, right? At the same time.
I could be wrong, but
we can get Instagram.
There's 74 comments on, and I'm thinking they're going to stay. I don't know. See
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Again,
No, they'll stay, but then you got to watch the video and the comments come in as the time passes. I think maybe. I'm not sure.
And there's a job for me to study, so we'll
figure
try
it
and
all
figure
out.
it out. Yeah, bear with
So-
us, folks. But again, we'll get there.
Okay, hit the bunk, Sergeant. LOL. Big day. Awesome. Talk. Thank you, and thanks, Dave. All right. Good night, Susan. Mike, you guys rock. Thanks. Likewise, Mike. Right. Dewey.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't
Susan.
don't forget to call Trap back. Yep. I'll call her as soon as I hang up here.
Quick,
So-
just before I forget, sorry. Ferris, Feris, Canadian Tire, Abbotsford. You rock. You helped make this possible.
Yeah.
You took a picture of the tour. Get your friends to follow. You're one of the rock stars that made this all happen. I just want to make sure I shout out to Ferris. 'Cause he was integral today.
Yeah. We didn't. He took care of everything.
Everything.
Made it all work, man.
Yeah, he was- he
I'll
was the
talk
man.
to. Whatever. Yep.
Yep.
So, thanks to him, we got in and out, and it was all done. Mel Ross, sending you all the best. Thank you, Mel. And okay, with that, we'll end it. Potential for another live.
Whenever you decide. So
Yeah,
just pay
whenever,
attention.
someplace on the road. If I can get some resupply of coffee going through Saskatoon and Rampage Coffee, well, then I'll do that.
Watch for some Rampage Coffee stuff soon, folks, too.
Yeah. So, all right. Take care. Love you all. We'll see you later. And like Dave said, right? If you want to book an interview, if you want to talk, I can come. We can do it at your place or wherever you want to do it. Right? We can meet. And also, even after you've done it, if you the end decision is yours whether you want it to go out there.
Oh yeah, no, you'll preview before it's ever published. Absolutely. This is all a community effort. So you'll be part of the tour you got to get a hold of us because it's too long a spiel to kind of get into to explain how the production works. But if you want to be part of it, we'll bring in the fold real quick. It's painless. It's simple. We've got several ways to do it. And like we said, reach out and see if there's something that suits you or not. Because even if you just need to talk to him, it doesn't have to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Mike's there for whatever you need, right?
And even if you just want to talk about it, about taking it, but you don't want it online or whatever, we can do that as well. Like I've talked to a few people offline, all that. It doesn't, right?
Oh, one more thing as your producer. Jason Call, shout out.
Oh yeah, and once again, a big shout out to Jason Call for the song "We Were Soldiers." Right,
It's in your outro.
beautiful song on my outro.
Find the link in the comments.
Find the link in the comments. But awesome song, and it was perfect with Dr. Nevin because he was 82nd Airborne. He got 5 or 6 jumps, I think he said.
Yep.
And so we were falling from the sky together, if you would. So, and have a safe drive, Katrina Jenkins. Thanks again, DT Ranger. Take care, bro. Likewise to you. Anytime, right? You can call me anytime because you never know if I'm up or not because I'm either in Newfoundland or I'm on Vancouver Island or in Vancouver. So, doesn't matter, right? I tried doing the shutting my phone off for a certain time, but then when it shuts off then at 10, but you're still on the road, then it becomes a problem. So then I stopped doing that. So, all right, I got to call Chomp Suey. All right.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, love you all. Take care. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Perhaps for a coffee on the side of the road. That also works too. That should be a direct phone call and say, "I'm right behind you. If we pull over, can we have a coffee?" Sure. All right. Okay, Susan, go to bed. It's late now. This is the sergeant talking now. Susan's dad was a sergeant at one time, so I we had to do that, right, Susan?